Hey everyone, Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. Tonight we have a special show. We're trying to do some new kind of shows, and tonight we're going to do the first ever Amazon merch after dark, and where every Sunday night. That was me.
I don't have it open, so it can't be me.
Well, that was me. Wow. That is just, let's just start over. Okay, everyone. Hello. I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. How you doing? I forget to mute my audio every time I come live. So yeah, so this is merch after dark. We're going to talk about merch and stuff like this. We want to probably do this maybe like once a month and kind of just talk about merch and some of the things. We do have some show notes and stuff, so we're going to talk about merch. So those that are new to merch, this is going to be the perfect kind of show for you, for sure. So joining me today, we have Margaret, Texas Gal Treasures.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? It is me.
Yes, and anyone that doesn't know Margaret, definitely check out her channel. There's going to be a link below. She's really killing it on YouTube as far as the merch by Amazon videos, and I think that's how I found out about merch, was through you. And so I really appreciate all your videos and stuff like that. They're really helpful, and I think that's what the merch community needs, is definitely helpful, friendly face videos. and Margaret's got that covered. So Margaret, do you want to do a quick little profile?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Margaret, Texas Gal Treasures, and I've been on merch by Amazon for, let's see, it's going to be 2 years in January, and I'm on the 4,000 tier. And at this point, this year, my profits range, because it fluctuates every month, have ranged anywhere from like 600 to almost 2,000, depending on the tier and the work you put into it and stuff like that. So that's where we're at.
Did you say you've made $2,000 a month on merch?
Well, in a couple months ago, it was like this close. So I'm claiming it. It was like 1,900 something.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah.
And you're at tier what right now?
4,000. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know you were that high.
Yeah, I am.
Wow, that's crazy. I honestly seriously thought you were like at 2,000 or 1,000. I really didn't know that you were at 4,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, 4,000. I don't have it nearly filled up anymore. When I was at 2,000, I had it almost full, and then I got bumped up and stuff. So
that's impressive. That's really impressive. So those that are new to the channel or new to merch by Amazon, definitely, if you're not signed up, I would definitely highly suggest, if you enjoy doing designs and making shirt designs and stuff like that, merch by Amazon is pretty much a place where it's a print on demand. You create a design, you upload it, and Amazon sells it, and then they ship it to the customer. You don't have to deal with any inventory returns or anything. It's really cool. It's sort of like passive income, but not really. You still got to put in the work as far as researching your keywords, and you can't put any licensed product, or not licensed, but licensed terms or trademark stuff. Like you can't put a Batman logo and say Batman shirt. You can't do stuff like that. So you really have to be very clever in the way that you create stuff, as far as not like sidestepping trademarks, but you have to really be creative and coming up with new exciting ideas to kind of really do well in this merch by Amazon. What do you think, Margaret?
I totally disagree with you 100%.
Really?
Well, about the like like hard ideas or whatever, not hard ideas, but like really creative ideas. Mm-hmm. Like I sold a shirt. I'm not even gonna lie. I sold a shirt today that was "I love strawberries."
Nice.
Easy peasy, right?
But honestly, no. That's actually being creative.
Oh, is it?
No, it is, because who would have thought of that? And that's probably why it sold. Is if you probably looked and see how many shirts that you saw that said "I love strawberries" that are out there. Probably not a lot of shirts.
Yeah. So it doesn't, because when I hear that, because I don't come from a graphic background. I taught elementary school, and so I never would have dreamed I would be making money creating shirts online. But I mean, when I say if I can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, anybody. So yeah, but I did have somebody message me today that was like, can I put up a shirt that's got an M And then instead of saying M&Ms, like on a colored shirt, like a yellow shirt with a big M on it, for those M&M shirts, right?
Yeah.
But instead of say M&M, can I put M colored candy shirt? And I was just like, no, you cannot. But they already had listed. They sent me a link. I was like, no, not okay.
Wow. Did you say it actually went through?
Yeah, it was up there. I was like, if you get caught, it's not a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how some of the stuff that goes through, and once you start getting into the higher tiers and you're really starting to take this Merch by Amazon stuff seriously, you really start to get fearful of your account being suspended, because I've heard of people getting their account suspended for pretty much nothing. What kind of account suspension stories have you heard of?
Well, I know somebody got their account suspended for accidentally putting Barbie in the title or the description or something, but he was it's on my channel. So I interviewed with Mo Fremont. He was uploading, he was doing eBay and he was doing merch, and he was going back and forth, copying, pasting listings, copying, pasting shirts. While this is loading, he's doing this. While this is loading, going back and forth. Well, then he accidentally copy and pasted the word Barbie into some shirts from his eBay listing. And when he hit go live and he caught it, he was like, but it was too late, because then it went to review. And so he ended up getting a 30-day suspension.
Whoa, just for one keyword? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so was it in the title, or was it in the bullet points, or?
I think it was in the bullet points, and then the shirt was, I can't even remember. It had nothing to do with Barbie. So it wasn't like he was trying to game the system and do like a girly shirt and throw Barbie in the keywords, but
wow,
it was just an honest,
that's crazy
mistake, like not thinking, trying to multitask, right?
Right. You mentioned being a school teacher before. What grade did you teach?
I started in 4th grade and then worked my way down. So when I stopped, I was in kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
Me? A kindergarten teacher? No way.
You probably were the funnest kindergarten teacher ever. I can definitely see that.
We sang and danced a lot.
So in life, I find myself, a lot of the hobbies that I'm into and just general life experience, I get a lot of motivation and creativity from that. Did you take anything away from being a school teacher that helped you with merch?
Ooh, that's a good question. No, I don't think so.
Nothing.
I mean, I think just keeping it like simple and then like bright and bold. That's, I mean, just because I know that's what catches kids' attention,
Right.
Really,
So
yeah.
you actually bring up a good point, and it's actually one of the notes I have here is about like good selling shirts. And do you sell more like font driven shirts, or do you sell like more graphic styled shirts?
Gosh, it varies. So this week it's been really heavy with the just graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been a few that are just font based sprinkled in there. So
right. When I first started, I did nothing. What's that?
It just fluctuates.
Yeah. Because for me, I don't do a lot of graphic, and I know that when you integrate graphic, font, and kind of like trending stuff is where you really hit the sweet spot from the people that I've kind of listened to. And that's another thing too. For those that don't know, I am at tier 500. I just tiered up, I would say about a month and a half ago. And that whole tier up process was insane. It took forever, it seemed like, and I was at 100 for a while. But I want to say that this at the 500 tier is when I really started to get a lot of sales. And I'm really, like, I was talking to Margaret the other day. I was just saying, like, I'm really focused on merch, and it's a really good income stream. Like Margaret, you said that you almost made $2,000 one month. I've heard of people making 50 grand, in the course of 10 months or something like that. And and that is insane. So definitely. So you're saying it, for the most part, like different shirts sell at different times. There's no like rhyme or reason, like, font shirts are more or anything like that. You just say it fluctuates.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I have had a couple or that are, I don't know how to describe them. They're just like sassy phrases, you know, that are on the shirt that have sold too. So,
Yeah, you never can tell. For me, like I started doing a lot of font shirts because that was pretty much easy for me to do with Photoshop and stuff like that. And the graphic stuff, like I don't really know how to do like a bunch of drawing vectors and things like that. So of course, you have to go and fish for free clip arts and things like that. So that's hard. Have you ever done any custom graphics, or do you pull your graphics off of like free to use clip art and stuff?
well, when I first started, I was using pretty much, open clip art and a little bit off of Pixabay, and then pulling some like public domain images to use. And then there's like two sites that I use they're paid sites, but to get commercial use, royalty free type graphics. And then my husband has made me a couple things, and then one thing I hand drew and made the shirt for, and Randy vectorized it for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, so Randy knows how to use Illustrator and stuff?
Yeah, he did graphic design and art and all that stuff. So.
Oh, that's great that you're able to partner up and do that kind of things. My wife actually, she'll give me some great ideas because she's a mom, and like I'm a man, so like I think like we totally think two different ways. So she's coming up with like some really amazing kind of things too, and they've done well. So it's good to have another soul to lean on, I guess, for help and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely think differently. But I think he's kind of kicking himself because he gave me some graphics, and now he got approved. And so he's like, "So can I upload those now?" But I was like, "No, they're already on mine." Like, "No, you may not."
That's too funny. So you said you're at 4,000. Like, how many do you have live?
Like 1,300.
Okay, so a little bit below. Well, I guess below half of. And how many is that a day that they allot you?
I can upload 80 a day.
Wow.
I know.
That's insane. Like I struggle with I'm at 500, and I guess you're allotted 10, and I struggle with that every day. And for people that don't know, when you start merch, you start off at 10. It used to be 25, and then it goes to 25, and then 100, and then 500, and then 1,000, and then is it 1,500 now after 1,000?
Oh, I don't know, because it was 2,000 for me.
Yeah,
it went from 1,000, 2,000, 4,000.
Okay, because I was listening to a bunch of podcasts this weekend about merch, and I could have swore I heard someone saying something about 1,500, but I wouldn't know. But you said you jumped from 1,000 to 2,000.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's pretty much what it is. And wasn't Jeff saying something about like once you get to 1,000, it's harder to get past that you need to be approved by Amazon?
Yeah, they get what it says by invite only, at that point. So, but pretty much everybody I know that's at that point, once they have filled up a certain amount of their spots and have made enough sales, because I had made 1,000 sales before they moved me up. I don't think I'd made 2,000 though.
Right. I think there's some weird, there is an algorithm obviously to the whole tiering up thing. And for those that don't know, like let's say you're at tier 10, you're supposed to sell at least 10 shirts, and then there's a process after that where you get approved or have, what is it, 10 and then have 80 or have 8 uploads. There's like this 80% thing that's been thrown around. That's I think that's Jeff's, isn't that Jeff's like tinfoil hat?
Yeah, that's his tinfoil hat
number.
Yeah. But hey, it seems to be working, because that's how my sister was, on the 10 tier. She had I don't remember. Never mind.
So those that are new to merch, that's pretty much what happens is you get allotted 10 designs, you upload them, you sell them. Once you get past 10, there's a certain amount of time that goes by, and then you get upgraded to 25 and so on and so on. So that's how the process is. And there's lots of ways to definitely sell your shirts. I know I talk about like advertising, and there's Pinterest ads. Is there anything, Margaret, out of the box that you've done that might be helpful to someone that's new, that isn't the traditional like post on social media answer?
Well, my sister, and this is no secret, so my sister's a beekeeper, And so I have told her, well, my dad's a master gardener, my sister's a beekeeper. So they have both ordered, and her husband ordered some of her shirts to wear to events. And then she hasn't gotten cards made up yet, but people will ask, oh my gosh, where'd you get your shirt? And then she can direct them, because I think pretty much all of hers she's got under one particular brand name. So she can say, find my bee shirts here on Amazon, or my dad can say, find these bee shirts here. So that's something to do.
Another thing she can do, and you can pass this along to her, because I've been into kind of marketing for years about all my different things that I do. And what she could do is, instead of trying to just go on to Amazon and look up that specific brand, she could buy a GoDaddy.com domain, and it's like literally like $10 for a year, and like something real short and really easy, like coolbshirts.com.
Yeah.
Like something that's available. And they have domain forwarding, and you can forward. So like go to say something clever, bshirts.com, something people can remember. When they type in that site, you can forward the domain that will go to that listing of that brand on Amazon.
Yeah.
So it's like literally one step easier than having to go on Amazon, search for her bee company's name, and with the forwarding in domain names, you can forward it directly to that brand. And then it's pretty much to show all the shirts. So next time you see her, definitely tell her about that. I've been doing that kind of stuff for years. And it kind of reminds me of how you advertise on Instagram, where you create your own individual Instagram accounts for certain niches. It's kind of like the same thing, where it's easier for someone just to go to a .com and then be forwarded to your and you can even set it up all crazy where you have your affiliate link that goes to it too. But I think you can't. I don't think you could mask a affiliate link. I think there's something in the terms of service with that. So definitely anyone who's going to do that, definitely look into that. And we have Alman in the chat says that's me right now. He's at tier 100, hoping to get tiered to 500 tomorrow. Is there?
Monday.
Oh yeah, I guess, is that a thing, like a Monday tier up usually?
That's one of the tinfoil hat theories. Some people are like, no, it's sometimes it's not on Monday, but
right. And a good thing for everyone who is new to merch and you're just trying to tier up to even 25. They've been tiering up people frequently. And I remember when I first started, there was literally like months, if not weeks, in between tiering up.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a thing where they weren't even allowing people to upload shirts at one time?
Oh yeah, this was last Q4. It was murderous. Oh my gosh. So Joe said it started on October 1st. So I can't remember. I felt like it was later than that, but he said no, it was October 1st. And basically they froze everybody. So what if you couldn't make any edits to any of your titles or keywords or anything, you couldn't upload, you couldn't change your prices, nothing. So it was just what it was is what it was.
That's very interesting. That my kind of like first kind of suspicion about that would probably be that they didn't want extra server taxing. You know what I mean? Because Q4 is like the busiest time for Amazon, obviously, and so I'm sure that they were trying to like maybe allocate more server space to the influx of traffic that goes to Amazon.com. That's just some tinfoil to me. But anyways, we were talking about like different ways to sell, and I wanted to show you guys a shirt that I made for a company called the Arcane Bear. And this is a kind of fun shirt. I didn't really design the logo or anything, but they had all that. But another way that I do is I will reach out to different companies and pretty much offer my services as far as like, I have a way that I can print you guys shirts. You don't have to. And the selling point for me that it's been is telling them that like they didn't literally have to deal with any overhead. They don't have to deal with any customer service. They just supply me the design. We work out a percentage as far as what they can make, and that's the kind of some of the out of the box thinking that I do is I reach out to different companies. And what's nice about that for me is I'll make a little bit of money. I don't like make the full returns because that's part of the whole negotiating. But the more companies I get under my belt that I'm making shirts for, the faster I'm going to get tiered up because I'm selling those extra shirts instead of just doing it on my own. So
Yeah,
that's another kind of out of the box kind of selling that I've been kind of doing. And it's kind of funny because I want I wanted to talk about the smell. I always love talking about the smell.
that smell.
And for those that don't know, print on demand, there's some weird chemical that they use. I'm sure it's not like deadly or whatever, but it does smell like vinegar. So anyone that's going to buy a shirt from Amazon, just be warned that when you open up that package that it's going to have a funky smell. There's nothing wrong with your shirt. Most people will put it in the washer. I love clean, crispy shirts, so I just hang mine up for a couple days, even like a day, and it usually will go away. So I think it's funny because I think that's like one of the unspoken things about merch that I always love to talk about. I don't know why I love talking
The
about
stinky shirt. Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
stinky shirts, but I remember the first Amazon shirt I ever got. I literally thought like a raccoon pissed on my shirt.
In the poly bag, and then they sealed it up for you.
Yeah, I was like, "What the hell? It smells like an animal like urinated on this shirt. What is going on here?" So no, I when I got this shirt, Margaret, do you buy shirts frequently, or do you get shirts every once in a while?
Every now and then, I bought like maybe 1 or 2 adult ones, but mostly for my guys. My boys really enjoy making shirts, and so we've bought some of the ones that they have designed.
Yeah, see, that's another fun thing, and maybe we could talk about that in a second. But
They love it. I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
let's talk about that actually right now. Is it because I totally forgot what I was gonna say?
Oh, okay. Well, my guys are like, they're always looking for ways to make money, and so they have, their little kid side hustles that they do, and this is one of them where they make shirts, and then if their shirt sells, then they get $5 into their bank account. So it's cool.
What prices are they charging for their shirts?
Usually $17.99. Right. Depending on there was a cool cat one that they did that was a little bit more, but they're always asking like, "One of my shirts sell today? One of my shirts sell today?" No, I'll tell you.
And Max Bot in the chat is saying finally hit 100 on my 7-day average, that's pretty good. That's really good. I've never reached 100 in my 7-day. I actually did up to 30 the other day, which is good for me. And that was another thing that I wanted to talk about too. He's and actually Max Bobcat is saying he sold 918, is hoping to get tiered up to 2K soon. Congratulations, that's awesome. One of the things that I was thinking about when I was kind of talking to you about, Margaret, is like I'm really excited about merch by Amazon. Like I really want to take this seriously as far as uploading every day, doing my research, getting in shirts, just trying to like maximize my profits. Well, not maximize my profits. That's another thing too, is my whole game plan that I figured out this week is I want to do volume. So my shirts are going to be at a lower price than most shirts. So I think I'm going to do the volume thing on my end, because I sell some shirts from at like $15.99 and $17.99. Do you have different ranges of prices, Margaret?
Most of mine are $17.99 to $19.99 in that window. Yeah. I have a couple that are lower than that, but most of them are right there. I try to have at least a $5 profit on the shirts.
See, that's a good thing. For me, I'm like, I don't know if I'm like scared, because I've been to that place where when I first started, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put my shirts at $19.99 and like nothing sold, but I didn't have anyone like you or anyone to mentor me or YouTube videos. This is when I first started to really think about like my pricing and stuff like that. So I know Joe's got a crazy kind of way that he does it. He'll put it low, and then if it starts selling, he'll raise the price, which is
No, go on. Max Bobcat in the chat was saying what I was thinking, but you go on.
What was he saying?
Well, the dropping I interrupted you and I apologize. So
Margaret, no, don't worry about it.
So yeah, Joe's theory of starting low, when it sells, bump the price up, right? So I was trying that because some people definitely do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody has their own strategy, right? But that happened last Q4, because I was hearing all of these people saying, well, you should do that. Start low, $14.99, and then when it sells, bump that price up. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. Let's just see. I dropped all my prices like $14.99, and that's when they froze it. They froze it at Q4, and and then my shirt started selling, and I'm like, son of a mother, I can't raise the price because it was frozen. Yeah.
But wouldn't you say like that when you upload a shirt, it usually takes like a couple hours anyways to get live on the system. So, I mean, that really doesn't matter anymore.
Which part?
The part where you're saying like if you take down shirts to reprice them, you're afraid that if they freeze the account. But I'm saying like shirts are uploaded so fast nowadays, it seems like.
Yeah.
That like I don't think that would be a really issue, but I guess it's something to definitely. It's one of those things where I can't believe a lot of companies, they do a lot of stupid things, and you think like history repeats itself. So anyone who's savvy about history, you know, would be definitely, for people that kind of lived through that, definitely have to kind of put that in the back of their mind. Is Amazon going to do that again? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes. I'm trying to really fill up as much as I can before Q4 right now. I'm really.
So you said you have 80 spots. How many do you think have you ever done the 80 in one day?
I actually, day before yesterday, I did, but it was mostly re-uploads.
Okay. And for those that don't know what a re-upload is after 90 days of no sales, a shirt will come down and you could basically just re-upload the shirt. And what Margaret's saying is basically it's easier to do because you've already have the graphic. If you were savvy enough to save the keywords and the title and everything like that. And I know Jeff is crazy with his spreadsheet, so I'm pretty sure he saves all his bullet points. Do you do any of that? Do you save any of your bullet points on a spreadsheet or a notepad or anything?
No, I don't.
What I found myself doing now is I have generic ones that have said like, you know, great for birthday gift or great for a special occasion or something like that. I have those generic ones saved because if I can't think of something, I just want to have something put in there.
Right. Yeah. Because normally the ones I was re-uploading, it was part of a series. I'll just say it had to do with all 50 states.
Mm-hmm.
So certain states ones had sold and other ones hadn't. So the keywords were pretty much all the same. The only thing that was different was in the title, the state was different.
Right. And Margaret brings up a good point. Like I find myself at the tier 500 doing the, I haven't done any of the astrological signs yet, though I'll probably get to that. But I've been doing the birthday year thing. That's I've been doing that. I actually sold a shirt an hour after it was loaded on a birthday shirt. So that's definitely something I'm looking into. And it's funny because I do a birthday shirt within a niche. So I take a niche and I do a birthday year around the niche instead of just a general, like, I don't know, established by 1984 or something ridiculous like that. So
yeah. No, that's a good idea, like marrying two of them together. And I think it helps. I don't know. I think it helps. Right.
And I honestly thought that's the reason why that shirt sold so fast, was it was like a branching off of a niche that I'm doing. So the thing that I forgot about that I was going to say is when I got my, and actually we're going to interrupt that thought for a second. I'm glad I wrote it down because I'm going to forget it. But we have 19 Vintage in the house. Who's an amazing guy. Have you ever talked to 19 Vintage, Margaret, on Instagram?
I haven't.
Do you follow him on Instagram or anything?
I don't think so. I'm gonna check.
Yeah,
I follow a lot of people, so
he's in Arizona and he's super amazing dude, and he's giving away a KDC scanner and a Dymo 450 labeler on his Instagram account. And for those that don't know, the KDC scanners, they're for like if you go up through thrift stores and you scan books, and you can see what books are worth money real quick by scanning a barcode. And he's giving away a Dymo labeler. Yep, that's him.
Yeah, I follow him already.
Awesome. So he's giving away a Dymo labeler, which is probably like a $200 labeler. The KDCs are probably like $80 to $100 depending on where you get it. So definitely go on Instagram and look for him. If you're seeing the show, he's going to give the stuff away on our open bar next week, like next weekend. So anyways, I wanted to kind of give him a shout out since he's here in the chat room. I'm going to be doing more stuff this week about that. I think it's an amazing giveaway. Do you have a Dymo labeler, Margaret, for your business?
I have one that I used for when I was doing FBA, but I don't do FBA anymore. I don't know how to do it for my Amazon, I mean my eBay labels.
Is it a 4x6 or is it a smaller one?
It's like this big.
Okay, so they're the smaller. They're not the standard size 4x6 labels.
No, it's like this big.
Yeah, you can't. You can shrink them, but I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, this. Yeah, definitely. I have a Dymo label writer. I think it's like a 450 or it's a 4X or something like that. But it's just used for printing out my eBay stuff and all that stuff. Right. And we totally got sidetracked here. Back to so yeah, definitely 19 Vintage is a cool guy. I hope to do a show. We have a show in the works that we're gonna do eventually about like vintage hard goods and stuff like that. But we'll get into that at another date. And so what I was going to say before that I forgot was when I bought this shirt, it wasn't sealed within a bag. Like it was in a poly mailer, but there was nothing else in it. I remember now, tell me if I'm wrong. Do you remember did they used to seal the shirts in a secondary bag before?
Yeah. When we've gotten ours, they've been like a clear mailer and then in the poly mailer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So the last couple of shirts that I've bought have just been stuffed in a poly mailer by themselves. So I thought that was interesting. And I'm wondering, and here comes the tinfoil hat. Here it comes. You ready? I'm wondering if that's because of the smell. Is if you have it in a clear bag, it literally, the smell, the molecules literally bounce around inside there and literally have nowhere to kind of escape. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking,
so I know, let's put it in a bag and that won't happen.
Right. Well, no. What happens is if you put it in a poly bag, there's air that can come in and out. But if you put it in a clear bag, it like literally almost seals it, like vacuum seals the shirt in there. So anyways, that's my tinfoil.
So your so your theory is they didn't put it in one bag because they're going to stick it in another bag instead.
No, they don't put it in double bags anymore so that the smell could be released during shipping.
I hear you. I'm just teasing you.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm totally joking.
You really have a straight face when you're busting my balls there.
But no, I don't think. I'm guessing it's probably overhead. They're probably just like, why are we doing this? This is dumb.
You really think it's just a bottom line thing that they can just save like maybe 3 or 4 cents per package and they look at it that way?
Yeah, because if you multiply how many shirts that they sell every day times 3 or 4 cents.
Do you know any of those numbers? Like what they do a day or what they do a week?
No, that would be awesome to know, though. Could you imagine?
I'm sure they sell $1 million a week. Do you think that's a fair number?
Oh yeah. I mean, because just some of the people we know who advertise what they sell. You know what I mean? Sell.
Right. Exactly. That's crazy. So anyone who's not following Margaret, and we're gonna give Margaret definitely a huge shout out because I consider you my mentor. So
Aww.
As far as my YouTube mentor, so everyone, I want them to know that. But definitely, she's got her channel down below. If you're not subscribed to her, you're definitely missing out on some amazing knowledge. And I really see your show or your channel growing tremendously over the next few years. And I think you're going to hit 100,000, within a few years if you keep doing what you're doing. You're really doing amazing work, Margaret. I just wanted to tell you that.
Thanks.
So
I would love to. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no.
Pull out your crystal ball. Let's make it happen.
I see that under 5 years you're going to be at 100,000. It's in the Alamo, in the basement.
In the basement. I'm heading there now.
Hey, you're close, right?
That's right.
Well, now a little bit of I'm gonna go 180s here on you. Was the Alamo flooded during the hurricane? Do you know if that was even affected?
No, I don't think so. I mean, San Antonio is pretty far inland. I know they were having some problem with flooding in San Antonio, but I don't think so. There's not really a basement, by the way. I think you know that, though.
No, I thought there was a basement and Pee-wee's bike was in it.
No, they just tricked him. They were just teasing him. There's no basement. You're in Texas. There's no basements in Texas. Right. Somebody's gonna say I have one, but no. Most
basements are kind of crazy. God, I'm gonna go 180 again. There was a story of a guy who had like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of vintage Star Wars figures, and I don't remember what state this was in, and he had it all stored in his garage. I mean, not his garage, his basement, and they're all in Tupperware containers and everything, and it flooded.
Oh my gosh!
He lost everything, and I don't think he had any insurance or anything like that. It was.
Oh, speaking of that, since we are doing a 180 on this, so because of all the flooding and stuff, my parents had picked up all, we're getting stuff out of the closets, and they found my brother, who's older than I am, his Star Wars, like, do you remember the carrying case? It was like the Darth Vader head Star Wars figure carrying case.
Yep.
So they found that, and it had, I don't know, like 16 figures in it or something. And
no way.
Yeah, my mom comes in and she's like, "Oh, did you bring that Star Wars case for the boys?" I was like, "Wait, are you talking about Jay's Star Wars figures? You're about to hand them to my children?" No. No.
Did you give them to your brother, or did you say you're going to sell them, or what's the deal with that?
Well, I just said they didn't end up bringing them over yet, so
I see.
I'm going to grab them and ask my brother, because I found two. It was a C-3PO and R2-D2 at a garage sale, and Greedo. The thumbnail for my video is me and Greedo, but just the two C-3PO and R2-D2 together were like, I don't know, $50 or $60. It was crazy.
Yeah, do me a favor, when you get them, send me a photo, because I used to be heavy into vintage. I can tell you what's up with the.
They're here somewhere. Oh, my parents' ones are R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Yeah, no. But when you get the case, let me know.
Okay.
I'll help you. I can. Whoa.
Is somebody playing like the?
No.
Flute?
On Steam I have a plugin where there's a member who you send him a little bit of Steam and he'll retweet your posts, and it actually gains you like twice as much Steam power. And I know you're not back on that, so get back on Steam. Get back on that.
I have so many balls in the air.
I know. Dun.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, no, I'm still going full on Steam. I love Steam. So let me see here what I was saying. Oh yeah, so like I have also in the show notes is for everyone that's out there, and Margaret's at 80 a day. Just keep on listing as much as you can. And I can't tell you, and this is a tinfoil hat thing. There's been days where I don't list and nothing sells, and the second I start listing, things sell. I don't know if it's yeah. Margaret knows what I'm talking about, and Jeff always has a hard time with that. And speaking of Jeff, for anyone who's new to my channel and doesn't know, we actually do a merch talk I think we're doing it every couple Wednesdays now. So it's like Wednesday in the morning. And definitely, do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah. So we've been doing merch talk. I moved it. We were doing it every week. And then it just got, especially with all the hurricane and the upheaval and getting back in the swing of things, we switched it over to every other week. So we may switch it back to every week, where it's just me and Chris and Jeff, sometimes Joe. It used to be Joe all the time, but now sometimes Joe. And and then every now and then we'll have other people pop in. Young will pop on, or my sister sometimes, and then we just talk about what's going on in the news with merch, or what theories we've got, or how. And sometimes we have a topic where we'll talk about how we're promoting. Sometimes we don't. We just sit and shoot the breeze and talk merch. But it's nice, right? It's just nice to have somebody to talk to about it.
I agree, because like there's not too many people that in the reselling community that are doing merch full time too. We have a question, and this is for you, Margaret, from Al in the chat. He wants to know why you stopped doing Amazon FBA.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's a couple reasons. One, the new fees. This was like last year that I quit. The new fee schedule was just blowing me away. So I was getting, it was like, if you don't, recall or do this or that again, your fees are going to be like $500 for your storage fees. Because I was just doing one-offs. I didn't have multiple quantities, and it was just going to eat my lunch. So I had everything recalled. And the second reason is I just didn't like it very much.
Right. They really did flip the script on everyone with the storage fees and stuff like that. And I think they really screwed a lot of people. And I remember watching that video where you were like so upset that you had to return all your stuff, or you were going to pay some crazy fee. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I feel really bad for you, because I was kind of getting into that boat where like I was getting kind of just hyped up by everyone else, like, oh, I'm just going to buy like $1,000 worth of books and just send them in, and I'm going to drive a Lamborghini like tomorrow. So
that video it's one of my most popular videos, which is crazy to me. Like, just because I'm talking about quitting FBA, and people are like, why? I didn't think I was whining. I was just like, here's the facts. Here's the thing. Maybe I came across as like
No,
complaining, but
you're so right. And we have Yang is actually in the chat. I want to give that guy a huge shout out for
who's
sure.
young?
Retro aficionado. Oh, you're being funny again. Wow, it's the Capricorn in me. I'm like, everyone's serious. There's no joking around here. And
Oh,
then
sorry,
it's like,
sorry.
no. I have a kind of a darker, humorous side too that you've seen. But no, so Young's in the house, and I want to give him a huge shout out because I've been listening to his podcast, and I don't remember its name, and I totally forgive me for not remembering the name.
I
But
remember it.
do you?
Merch Minds.
Merch Minds, and it is an amazing podcast. I'm gonna tell you, like, I was listening to the recent one where I guess they were in, I don't know if they were in Texas or New York, or they were somewhere at a meetup, and they had like 8 or 9 people just sitting around talking about merch. Did you listen to that one?
I didn't. I bet it was Seattle because they were in Seattle for
Yes,
the thing.
the Chris Green thing, right?
Yeah.
And
I think we're gonna do it again too. We're in Denver.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I guess Chris Green is like the Babe Ruth of merch by Amazon, or he's like one of the most well-known merch people out there. And there's a lot of, just digging in. Like I said, Margaret, I'm really taking this seriously now. And I've been really researching a bunch of stuff and kind of dipping into other people's kind of like podcasts and videos and just kind of seeing what's going on. And there is a lot of amazing people out there doing merch, and they're killing it.
Mm-hmm. I keep seeing more and more people like making videos and stuff too, and I want to talk to them all. I just don't have time.
Yeah, I hear you that too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's just it's crazy. And a retro Yang says Chris Green is the Godfather of Amazon, pretty much. Like I heard of his name before I heard of Merch by Amazon.
Yeah, before that he was all like Merchant Fulfill. I mean, not Merchant Fulfill, but FBA and all of that. So he's.
Oh, that's right. That's where I
came from. He's pretty close with the Amazon peeps. So
yeah,
he knows his cookies.
And I'll be actually sending some stuff pretty soon to FBA. I still do FBA. The thing is, if you're going to do FBA, anyone that's out there that hasn't done it before or is thinking about it, you just have to be very mindful of what you're sending in and make sure that it's got a decent sales rank. And that's the only advice you really need about FBA, is just make sure it's going to sell in a reasonable amount of time. And I think that's is that kind of where you got caught up, Margaret, is stuff wasn't selling so fast and you had a bunch of. Were you heavy into books or?
Books, and then like media, like I have a stack right over here of cassettes and things. So they were sealed media, VHS tapes, and then the toys sold pretty quickly. But I'm trying to think what all came back. Mostly books came back though. Yeah, I had some books in there. I just didn't enjoy it. I like the treasure hunt. I mean, so I have a huge mess in my workroom because I just love the thrill of the hunt.
I do too, and I think I have Death Piles was in the chat a minute ago, and that's kind of like what I have is I have death boxes. I honestly will buy stuff, put it away, and then like here we go, folks.
Oh!
Now another thing that I really admire about Margaret is her knowledge in jewelry, and that's something I definitely want to get into. And I know we talked about before that I can source like jars for really cheap in bulk lots. So hopefully we can work together at some point on that. I know you're really busy and I'm really busy too. So I don't, I haven't really done anything with that, but that's something I definitely want to work on the future. So I know I
always need time for jewelry.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, it's a good moneymaker.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I remember buying some stupid like wooden, I don't know what they were. There was like some wooden round beads. I guess it's an Asian good luck charm, or I forget what they're called. They're like little good luck beads, and I literally bought them for 25 cents. I listed them on Etsy, and they sold for like $8, and I was amazed because like, who would want that? Someone wanted it, and it was something that is pretty much I guess a filler item in one of those jars.
Oh yeah. I mean, every now and then I'll grab something and I'm like, I just want to see if I can sell this, as one of like the filler type items. I mean, one of it was like this plastic red, white, and blue stretchy bracelet. It had like a little American flag on it, but it was totally just like a little plastic stretchy bracelet that was in the jar, probably worth a dime and it sold for $12.99. So I mean, just everything will sell. It just, yeah.
Now I know this is a merch show, and we're kind of no. That's me. I'm the one that brought it up, and but no, definitely it's one of those things where I wish I had the time and the patience to like list all that stuff, because when you get a jewelry jar, there's really tons of stuff in there that it's like it's not easy to list that stuff either, because you literally got to do research on some things and list it and anything. So yeah, jewelry on a merch after dark show. How can we integrate that into so anyways, there's probably a jewelry niche. You can come up with some funky slogan.
Or chicks that like the bling, you know. It's all about the bling.
There you go. And you just get it like a I don't know, like a clip art of a ring and put a little bit of pixie dust on it, and there you go. You have you have your design.
But I mean, but that does bring up a good point, because I get the question a lot. Well, are you even still reselling? Are you still, you know, with all this merch stuff you're doing? And I'm not. I mean, I really am more heavy with into the merch stuff because it's so easy and the money's so good. But yeah, so
right. No, and that's what it comes down to is time is finite.
Yeah.
So there's only so much a lot of time we have during the day. So as resellers, we need to figure out what best suits our, you know, our goals, I guess you want to say, or our bottom line.
Yeah.
So
it's just a matter of scheduling.
Yeah, exactly. And you and I both have kids, so that adds a whole other element to finding time for everyone and finding time for, you know, trying to make the money and all that stuff. So any closing thoughts, Margaret, on our first merch after dark show?
No, I really enjoyed it, just hanging out talking. I mean, I think that is one of the things that I would say is, if you can find a group of people that you can talk to about merch, you know, if you have a good friend that you can bounce ideas off of, especially if you're new, just to show your ideas, to show your title, your keywords. I mean, that's invaluable, just to have another set of eyes to look at them and say, I don't know about that, or that keyword is, you know.
Right. I definitely hear you. We actually have one little last thing in the chat. Max Bobcat was asking about Margaret. See, I do that all the time. The person in the chat is asking, last year, how much did you, what was your pretty much your average? I guess if you want to talk about this, you can. I don't know. I totally didn't think about that, but yeah, they were asking what was your like your average for the regular season compared to like Q4 in merch sales.
I can screen share real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Yeah. So this is my 2016, you know, this is my spreadsheet for 2016 for merch. So this is January. I sold one shirt, 2016. And then it, you know, chugged along. And then in December 2016, it was $1,599. But then when the new year flipped over, it really tanked down back to 600, 700, 600. And so here in June, that's where it was 1908. So in June, it was, you know, over $1,000, almost $2,000. I'm claiming 2,000. Okay.
Those are amazing numbers, Margaret. Anyone would be happy with those numbers for sure that are starting out. So that's definitely amazing.
I stopped screen sharing. Well, what did I do? I clicked the wrong button. Am I still here?
You're here. You're still here. And actually, Nick Eden in the chat was saying everyone subscribe to Margaret's Patreon. And definitely, I guess I'll pull up a link for that and I'll put it in the description below. Anyone that's watching this, we're going to put a link to Margaret's Patreon down below. And what she does is she has special kind of extra. Do you do extra videos for your Patrons?
Well, yeah, but it's not necessarily in videos. It's hangouts. Like, so people on certain levels, pretty much every level gets like shirt designs. And then there are some that you get private hangouts where we sit and you can show your shirts, or we can talk whatever you want, you know, small group or one-on-one. Yeah. Yeah,
that's great. And I do have a Patreon, but I'm not going to share it because I don't have it all set up for my thrift shop hustler stuff. And maybe one day I'll do that, but I definitely have it set up, but I haven't done anything with it. My time I don't have the time to really focus. And for Patreon, and I'm sure you found out, you really need to focus on making everyone happy, because to me, when I had a Patreon for my art stuff, I really felt like those are your true fans that were willing to give you money every month to provide some sort of benefit or something. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was when the first month came around last month when I was like, oh, I have to get the designs out to everybody. We had evacuated for the hurricane. And so I'm sitting here writing everybody, all the designs are coming, apologies, hurricane. But now that I know, like, especially now I've gotten quite a few more patrons. I've really got to plan my month out to make sure I get my designs for everybody ready. But we do have a goal, like at all my patrons. So once we hit the first goal, then I'm going to set up a hangout for each tier level, like small, so we can do one quick, small, not quick, but hangout where we talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah, and that's cool. On my art one, I was at one point was making almost $1,000 a month. And and you say that, oh, it's a great number, but I had to do a lot of work to get that money, and for my art thing, it all fell apart. So that's a whole other show in itself. But definitely, if you guys have Patreons, make sure that you're keeping up with that and that you're making you're following through on everything that you've promised everyone. So go ahead.
Can I say one more thing about it? Because my son even brought this. No, okay.
No, go ahead.
My whole goal for doing Patreon is to help people, because I know I get a lot of questions. So the whole goal is, the money's nice, but everybody's getting something for what they're paying for. And I was telling my son about it, and he was like, wait a minute, you're giving them the design. What if it sells, Mom? And you're only getting like $5 or $10, and they get this design that could sell. And that doesn't seem like, that doesn't seem like a very good idea. Like, but I told him, well, the whole goal is that I want everyone to be successful. So that's why.
No, absolutely. And yeah, definitely Patreon's not like a one-way street at all. There's definitely like, it's almost like it's like I said, it's like your most important fans. Well, not your most important, but they're your fans that are willing to,
they believe in you.
They believe in you and they want to support you, and Patreon's amazing. And the thing is, Patreon gets a lot of flack within different communities. Even like you can imagine, like any community, as soon as you like say, oh, I got a Patreon, people really just take it the wrong way, like real quick. They're like, oh, you're gonna try to make money now? Like, how dare you? And but I don't think people really get the benefits of Patreon, which it's got a lot of good, and it's like a two-way street. Like you said, there's podcasts that do special podcasts for the patrons, and it's like a club. It's like a fun club.
And I did catch some flack for it, but I think the people that gave me problems about it or had problems with it didn't like really go see what it was all about. They just heard Patreon and were like, "Oh, Margaret just wants people to give her money." But if they saw what it was, it's more like people are getting something. They're not,
Yeah, and that's exactly my point. Is in life, there's a lot of that kind of stuff. It just life in general. People just they don't want to do the research on anything. They just want to jump to judgments and conclusions and everything that. So I guess if that's going to be my closing thought is, don't ever jump to conclusions, everyone. The world is crazy. So so just don't judge a book by its cover and And anyway, so anyone that's new to merch and anyone that's a veteran to merch, just keep pushing. Do those listings every day. We're going to leave a link to Margaret's stuff down below. If you're not watching, if you're not clicking, if you're not subscribing, do that. Margaret, last word.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.